If your mind feels busy and your body tense and everything just feels a little bit too much, then this is your invitation to soften, to pause, and to unfold and unravel the overwhelm. Life is overwhelming, whether it's responsibilities that we have or activities that we need to do or notifications or emails that we need to read, listening to news or to media, or just seeing things as we're scrolling through our social media feed that can tend to be fear-mongering. Life gets really overwhelming really quick a lot these days. So this practice is meant to help you unravel and unwind and just take a little bit of time for yourself to soften all the noise of the world and really just settle into your body, into your breath, and into some soothing postures that will help you along your yoga practice. We will need a few things for today's practice. I have a cup of tea, one of my favorite teas that helps just relax me a little bit deeper. You can have your favorite cup of tea if you want to pause this video and go make that. Cozy yourself up. What we'll need for props is a bolster for sure. If you don't have a bolster, get yourself a nice thick pillow off of your couch or your bed. We will absolutely need some sort of blocks. Now, if you don't have yoga blocks, that's okay. Just find books or something that have the same height. A yoga blanket will be great to have. If you don't have one of these specific blankets, no worries. Just get yourself a blanket that will be pretty thick or thick-ish when you roll it up. We'll get to the pose that we do with that. Or a beach towel is really nice if you don't have a blanket that mimics that. And then these are additional. You don't really need these, but if you have a strap, then get yourself a strap. It'll be an optional variation in one of our last poses. And I also have this weighted eye pillow that is infused with lavender essential oil. So you don't necessarily need one of these that's weighted. You can get yourself a washcloth and spritz it or dab it with your favorite essential oils. That's nice and relaxing. So in our Shavasana, you can place that over your eyes and get the infusion of the essential oil. So we're going to start in a seated position with your pillow or your bolster underneath your seat. So just set that up, then find your way to your seated position. Just move this out of the way. You'll need your blocks with you, and we're just going to come right into a butterfly position of the legs. So this class is more on the restorative side. So take your blocks or your props and place them underneath your knees. Now, if you have tighter hips, being on this bolster will help elevate your hips a little higher than your knees. But if your knees are still really high, the blocks can just nestle in to the height of your legs. So use the setting that works best for you to let your legs and your thighs just surrender. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then take your blanket. You can roll your blanket up as thick of a fold that you'd like. We'll get towards that in just a moment. Leave it on the top of your feet. Begin to just allow the head and the shoulders and the hips to find a gentle alignment. And then if it feels safe, start to rest down the eyelids. As we settle into this first posture, no need to alter the breath. Give yourself the space to make the little tiny adjustments and refinements that the body is asking to feel as supported as possible. And then just begin to bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Just so you can feel the breath moving into and out of the body. Noticing where the breath lands, the pace of the breath, and the texture of the breath. Just to connect with the breath a little further, do your inhalations versus exhalations feel longer? We're a culture that tends to breathe more with the inhalation, so our inhalations are really short and quick and shallow. And it's when we allow the exhalations to become longer than the inhalations where we really find this sense of ease. Just take a moment and slowly work the inhalations to be shorter than the exhalations. Body might be getting a little tired here, but we're just going to take this pose to the next step. So you can release your hands, and we'll continue that journey into the breath and start to gently fold. Let the chin soften towards the chest as you fold down. Hands may find the blanket. You might adjust the blanket so that the forearms can find it. And then the head can soften down. We get a really nice stretch further into the low back and into the hips. And for these next few moments here, try to get more acclimated with an extended exhale. As the inhalations, they're yang energy, right? So they're active. They stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. While our exhalations are yin energy. They tap into the rest and digest, the softness, the ease. And just taking a gentle scan of anywhere that might feel tense and allowing your mind connected to the breath, working with the breath, to unravel any lingering tension there. And that can take a few breaths. That can take every single breath of this class, and that's okay. This is a container to really allow yourself the space within your day to just let go and to wash away any overwhelm through the connection of your anchor that is always with you, the breath. We're here for 3 more rounds of breath. Maybe you've noticed the subtle fall of the body, the upper body, and towards the legs. Maybe you've noticed a difference in the breath. On your next inhale, we'll slowly begin to rise the chest away from the feet or your prop. You can use your hands to crawl yourself back up to an upright spine. As you arrive up, just take a moment. Let everything neutralize in the spine. And gently begin to blink your eyes open if they're closed. We'll move the blanket off to the side for a moment. I'm going to unravel mine and just use it for some support for my legs for our next pose. But softly help your knees towards each other. Let the legs extend long. We'll move the blocks off to the side for a moment. And then begin to come onto your left hip. Come off of the bolster and then readjust the bolster to be vertical or long ways. So then being on your left hip, what we're going to do is just dial the torso towards the bolster. Now, give yourself full permission to make adjustments accordingly. If the bolster is too low for you, you can use the blocks to stack it up. Just take both blocks underneath it and stack it up. Okay, today's class is restorative, so we want it to be gentler rather than doing more work. Just let your body descend over the bolster. And your cheek can come onto the bolster. Maybe the hands come underneath the bolster like they're wrapping under a pillow. And then just begin to settle in. Notice your breath. Notice if the body asks you to refine any movements so that it can get heavy. And give into the space and the props beneath you, holding you up. For the remainder of this pose, I will be more quiet and silent. My only gentle reminder before that occurs is to remember to come back to your breath. Notice the exhalations grow beyond the inhalations, and the count might be all that you need to stay focused into that space. So, for example, counting to 4 or 5 on the inhale, whatever your extension is. And then allowing your exhalation to be about 1 to 2 more counts beyond your inhalation. Take one more full breath in and a longer breath out. And begin to bring yourself upright. We'll walk our way through center and then over to the right side. So just bump the knees towards the right. Find your right hip huddled up to the bolster. And then allow your hands to frame the bolster as you soften down over it. we are asymmetrical beings. We are unique and different, and that is the beauty within each and every one of us. We are perfectly imperfect, poetic within our curves and our scars and our colors and shapes. So if this side feels different, that's okay. Think of the beauty within both sides and how, as a whole, it makes you you. Let go and unravel any labels, any explanation, and then surrender back to the breath. For these last breaths in this posture, invite more to soften. Your next inhale, fill up completely. On your exhale, let go, empty out even deeper. We'll slowly begin to come upright. And from here, we'll move the bolster off to the side. And we'll find our blanket or towel or whatever it is that you have. And we're going to roll it. Now you want the length of the roll to be at least as wide as your back. Wider is totally fine. And you're just going to roll it not super thick, but just thick enough that when you lie down on it, it'll bring a sense of pressure into the back body. So we're going to easily let this blanket start at the low back. This way it can start to really unwind a lot of the pressure around our spine. And we're going to go upwards with it. So we end at the top, bring support underneath the neck, and then we'll end with a legs up the wall if you have a wall near you. If not, that's okay. You can build a wall for that. So find the roll of your blanket again, not super thick, but just about like 3 inches thick or less. And then you will let the blanket come towards the sacrum, that little dip in the low back, and then you'll lower all the way down, keeping the knees bent and the feet on the ground. Now, as you land on this space, you might need to wiggle around for a moment, make sure that the blanket is nice and level, and allow your hands to just rest alongside you. The way that we'll work with this pose and this mini sequence is we'll take 3 full breaths in each space. So this first space, more towards the low back sacrum, just begin to take 3 rounds of breath. Come back to your count. And be sure that the exhalation is extended, and really make sure that you exhale fully, because we tend to not breathe out our whole exhalation, which just makes our inhalations even more rapid. When you feel like you can't empty out, try to empty out a little bit more. One more breath here. And we'll try to do this as smoothly and gracefully as possible. What you'll do is you'll press into your feet, slightly lift the hips to crawl the blanket up a little higher. Land the hips back down. Now, as we journey this blanket up the spine, the legs might want to move into a different position. So maybe the toes crawl a little bit more forward. Same thing with the hands. They perhaps might want to land on the body or reach back behind. Just find a space that feels supportive, and then 3 breaths here. On the exhalations, feel like the back body can just sink into and beyond the blankets. Last breath here. Good. Same idea. If you need to walk your feet in to feel more stable and supported as you lift your hips, please do so. Lift your hips and nestle the blanket up a little higher. So we're moving more into thoracic spine. You might feel or hear or sense a little crack in the back with the assistance of the blanket. Let's feel good, let it happen, and then let the breath sink you in. Take any adjustments the body craves. My body wants to extend the legs long at this point, so maybe you explore that, or you might even come back to Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet kissing. Do more full breaths here. Now, this is your practice, so if at any point throughout this spinal massage you want to stay and linger a little longer, by all means, please do. But we're getting ready to bring that blanket up a little higher. Now, as we move towards the upper back, personal preference is, rather than continuing to use my hands and to draw it up, is just to start to kind of walk my body down the blanket. So just wiggle side to side to find the next space. So get there however you'd like. At this point, maybe the arms would like to widen. Snuggle the shoulders down the back. Really feel the opening of the front body, especially into the ribs, towards the shoulders, the chest. Full breaths. Complete exhalations. And then the next journey a little higher. Again, just continuing to find the positioning of the legs that feels best. Let the shoulders relax. Let the back of the head feel very weighted towards the floor. Utilize the tool of your breath, the prop of the blanket, and the fullness of your presence to massage and unravel any pockets of tension or knots or kinks in the back body. As we continue to travel up, now if you have a longer torso, you might be taking a little bit longer. That's okay. I have a shorter torso, so I'm pretty much almost at my shoulders. Allow yourself to be in the space of stillness, a space of complete release. And when you pretty much up towards your neck, tuck the chin in towards your chest. Reach behind you for the blanket, or maybe come over to the side for a moment and just use your, draw the blanket out in front of you and just fold it or adjust it so that it really nestles into the nape of your neck. Right? And as it nestles into the nape of your neck, then just allow your hands to rest by your side. This is the last end point of the spinal massage. 3 breaths to notice. Now, if you would like to add on a little bit more into the sides of the neck, then just begin to gaze over towards the left side. Feel the blanket into the flesh of the side of the neck, and then move through center and gaze over towards the right. And you can do that at your own pace for however long you'd like. Maybe exploring a little bit of a nod and a shake or a diagonal motion with the massage. We will slowly come through center. We'll be setting up for our final pose. It is going to be a legs up the wall. And this is going to be an optional pose to, if you have a wall near you, come to it. I would suggest bringing a blanket to support underneath your hips. If you don't have a wall, no problem. That's okay. Just allow yourself to find your blocks. And we'll set the blocks up at the medium setting. your bolster will come on top of the blocks, and just make sure your bolster is really sturdy and supportive. And optional strap variation as well. So if you don't have a strap, no problem. All you'll do is snuggle your way down so that your calves are supported by the bolster. And then you'll come all the way down. If you like the support under your neck, you can keep it there. Now, using the strap will just give a little bit more support to keep your legs towards each other. Tendency sometimes is our legs want to kick out to the side. So you'll just thread your strap through the D-ring. And then over and through one more time. You might need to play around with it for a second, that's okay. And you'll put your legs through the strap, through the hole of the strap, and tighten it until you have them about hips distance apart. So that when you come onto the bolster, you don't have to worry about holding them up if they want to splay apart or sink to one side. Now, same idea if you were coming to the wall. Now, if you're already in your space that you chose and you're settling in, then just settle in. You can use your eye pillow if you'd like, but if you're coming to the wall, use the strap ahead of time, placing the legs through the strap. Set your blanket up alongside the wall, and then try to get as close to the wall as possible with one hip. And then you will slowly lower down and send your feet up towards the wall. Now, you might need to nestle a little side to side. If you have tighter hamstrings, it's okay to be further away from the wall. And if you need to tighten your strap a little bit more, that's totally fine. So wherever you'd like to rest for your Shavasana, find it. Take all the props with you. I'm going to get my infused eye pillow and allow it to settle over my eyes, just beginning to take any extra light out. Even though the eyelids are closed, we still see light through them. So just finding this sense of completely relaxation through closing down the eyes and covering them up. And whether you're supported with your bolster and your blocks and your wall setup or on your physical wall, just allow the upper body to feel even heavier as all of the weight and all of the energy from the lower half of the body spills down towards the heart. Notice the energy of your overall self. Notice the breath and how it's carried you with patience and with care and with self-love and support throughout this entire class to assist you on your journey to find more ease, find more peace, and less overwhelm. We'll be here for another minute or so. Take a final breath in through the nose, fill all the way up, hold it at the top, and sip in a tiny bit more air, and then open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Start to find some movement in the toes, in the ankles, in the fingers, and the wrists. If you have that eye pillow over your eyes, just gently take it off. Keep the eyelids closed. Notice how the light changes. And slowly wake up the body. Maybe take an overhead stretch of the arms behind you. If your calves are on your makeshift wall, then just begin to lift the legs. If they're on the actual wall, we'll slowly begin to bend into the knees. You can crawl your legs out of your strap at this point. And then as mindfully and gracefully as possible, if you're on the wall, just roll to one side and pause in a fetal position. And if you are on the bolster, then just take your legs off the bolster, hug the knees into the chest, and roll to your fetal position. Just to transition through to an upright seated position. Maybe you find your tea, take another sip of it. I hope that you were able to unravel and unwind a little bit more than from when you began class today. This practice will always be here for you in this corner of the internet whenever you're feeling like you need to just release and give yourself a little bit of time to restore and come back to balance. Thank you for practicing today. I hope you have a beautiful day or evening, whatever time you're practicing in, and I will see you on the mat soon. Namaste.